Oh, yeah, anything I buy, he automatically goes, oh, I like that. Yeah, I think I can wear that.
Okay.
But I fooled him, though. I bought him a pair of boots that he didn't like. I'm wearing them.
Well, Tommy, let me officially welcome you back to Dallas.
Well, thank you. Dallas? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is Dallas.
Yeah, if it's Thursday, it must be Dallas.
Dallas, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Dallas.
And here you are with another movie.
Yep.
Far Out Man.
Far Out Man. Still doing the Far Out Man stuff.
How did this come about?
Well, I went to the last 2 Cheech and Chong movies, and I wasn't in them, you know, so I figured, oh, I can take a hint. So I figured if I'm going to be in a movie, I better write one and direct it and produce it, and I did, and it's called Far Out Man. And I also I had a casting agent that was related to me, so we ended up with all my family in the movie.
How many family members?
I counted 10. You know, close or near blood relatives and other, you know, types. Like C. Thomas Howell was a brother-in-law, son-in-law. And Floyd Sneed on the drums in the beginning of the movie, he used to play with the Three Dog Night. Remember that group? He's an ex-brother-in-law. And everybody, including the dog, Mr. Bill, he's a Chong in a roundabout sort of way. So, yeah. But they're all good. Like Ray Dawn, you know, she's excellent. And my wife, Shelby, who is now, they're talking about other projects, you know, other directors, and they're talking about using her in the soap. So, yeah, it's a happening family.
Does that make it easier or in some ways harder to have all the family?
Well, transportation-wise, it was easier. You know, we just wake up in the morning, get in the same car, and go to work. But that's about the only easy thing about it. It was tough. Like I had my 15-year-old son, he kept talking about child labor laws or something. I don't know. He's complaining about working 18 hours a day and not being fed. I don't know. But it worked out good.
Where is home now?
Pacific Palisades. It's right near Goldie Hawn's house. Yeah, I seen her walking around there the other day. And close to Stallone's ex-house, and real close to Spielberg's house. I found this little hovel, you know, just perfect for me.
Out there in the high rent district.
Yeah, it was right where, well, I thought it was Reagan's old house, you know. That's why I bought it, because I wanted, I thought it'd be great to grow some exotic plants, you know, where the President of the United States once lived. But it's not Reagan's house, but it's close by. It's real close by Reagan's old house. So I planted some plants there in honor of Mr. Reagan.
This movie is somewhat autobiographical, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about a crazy ex-doper hippie roadie. I guess that's me. Who lost his love, and he couldn't find her because he never knew her last name. So yeah, and it's my kid, and it's my wife, and he kicked her out of the band. That's why she left him. One of those Paul McCartney, Linda McCartney things. Except this guy was a little insensitive, my character, and he mentioned the fact that, oh, by the way, you're not in the band anymore. And so she left him. And then he became rich because he got hit by a Rolls Royce. And when they took him to the hospital, they thought he'd suffered brain damage. And so, but he never felt a thing. This guy's sort of immune to physical pain. And it's very funny, and you have to see it. I don't want to explain too much of the plot because then everybody go, well, I don't have to see it now. So.
This guy is caught in a time warp, though, isn't he?
He always has been.
I mean, he's still living the 60s.
Yeah, well, remember when we first did Up in Smoke, remember we talked? And one of your questions was, aren't you guys a little dated now? And that was 78. I mean, I remember you saying, the 60s are over now, you know what I mean? The 70s are over, and you're still in the 60s. Yeah, So what? I like it there, man. I like the 60s. You know, that was a great era. Man. I mean, why leave? You know, if you don't have to.
Isn't life better now than it was then?
I really don't know the difference, to tell you the truth. Is life better now? I don't think so. In some ways, I mean, I think what's happening, see, you know, like we're having Earth Day and stuff like that. I mean, the straight people are now catching up with what we knew then in the 60s, because we had Earth Day in the 60s. Remember, we went back to the hippies, we kind of went back to the land, and, you know, we were recycling and we were, you know, doing all that stuff that's now sort of becoming hip to do. We were trying to save the planet back then. And I like that. I like that whole thing, you know. I know a lot of people that, you know, went and lived on farms during the 60s and, you know, spent one winter in the farm and said, forget this, you know, went running back to the city and got their BMWs. But I didn't have to do that because I was raised on a farm, so I knew all about that. So you know, I mean, I know all about slopping hogs and, you know, doing chores. So I got out of that. But I got into the 60s, you know, kind of late in life. I was in my 30s when that hippie thing hit. And that was great. I love that whole, you know, communal attitude. And I still don't see any reason, you know, not to keep it.
Even though now that you're a producer and you have to be worried about financing and you have to deal with all these straight bankers and all this kind of thing, are you still considering yourself a hippie?
It's easier. It's easier, yeah, because all the people in charge now, they were either hippies or raised by hippies. So I made a lot of these executives, you know, they go, you know, the president of some network or something, he goes, oh man, we used to listen to your records all the time. Yeah, we'd ride around, you know, smoke a little bit and get high, and now I'm a president, you know, hey, look at me. Yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of them. Or they say, the younger ones go, yeah, my parents were hippies, and they had your records all the time. So it's actually easier because a lot of people in charge, you know, well, look at Reagan's, no, Bush's cabinet. Everybody's, now they're admitting, you know, yeah, I smoked marijuana once and I deeply regret it. Yeah, sure, once, sure. Yeah. Me too.
Would you be offended if somebody thought that now you were straight and establishment and that sort of thing?
You can't offend a hippie. How do you offend a hippie? What do you say, you know? I like your suit. No, because see, that's the whole thing about being a hippie. There's no such thing. You don't have that mentality of like better than anybody. You know, I mean, you dress up a hippie, you cut his hair. Underneath, he's still a hippie. You know, and like me, you kind of figure like you scored. Like when you go to a restaurant, you don't get kicked out. You know? The first thrill is that, oh God, I got away with something. I'm sitting here. Well, like me on this tour, you know, I go into these suites and everybody's going, Mr. Chong, glad to have you here, Mr. Chong, and everything. And I walk into the room and I go, wow, look at this white robe. I think I'll take it. Yeah, I need a collection of white robes at home. Yeah, they got these free terry cloth robes everywhere I go, you know. The first one I never nailed, but I got every one after that.
Tommy, as always, it's great talking with you.
It's fun seeing you. You haven't changed. What is it?
Well, you're not looking closely.
I look, of course, my eyes are getting bad. No, you're looking good. You're looking good. I don't know what it is. Is it the air in Dallas?
Yeah.
The water?
Right.
Because I don't know. Every time Cheech and I used to talk about you and say, whoa, she looks good, man. What is it with Bobbie?
It's just living.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
You're happy?
I'm very happy. Yes.
You look it. You got the world licked, though, don't you?
All things considered.
Yes.
Right. Tommy, great to see you. Good luck with the film.
Thank you. And make sure you tell all your friends. You got to see it. You know.
I shall see it.
You'll enjoy it.
I will.
Thank
It's good to see you. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Tommy. Okay.
Well, attempt to change, you know, but I'm here. I'm back.
The older you get, the more like yourself you become.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Daryl was enjoying that interview. I could hear him snickering back there.
We're all giggling over here.
Yeah, we had
You have fun with Kevin. Do you know Kevin?
No, do I know
Kevin?
Kevin?
You have fun with him. Yeah.
I met a disc jockey this morning, Charlie Fox, and he's an older from the past. You know,
Yeah.
he goes, I met you before, haven't I? He goes, I said, I don't know either because I'm the same way. Yeah, we probably did. And he said, yeah, it was probably good. We probably had a good time too. Neither one of us could zero in because it's the blur.
Do you really, is it critical now you need to run? Yeah, okay.
I know.
Okay, just this, we can just get this one shot, and then what happens?
Oh, you just
Got
Just to untangle a little bit.
Around. It can't go up on the deal. They put it too shine. Come on. 30 seconds.
You see why Oliver Stone likes to work in Dallas, because the crews, that's the other thing. They
Oh,
get,
yeah.
They get twice as much work out of the
That's
crews.
what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I shot my picture in L.A. You
Did
know,
you use union or?
some union, mixed. But they're not so, you know, in L.A. they're all there. And they're all, no one's working. You can get deferments, you know.
Even if I pull that mic is on the floor.
You got it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's, I don't know, you know, they got enough budget to hire all your stuff.
Oh, well, of course, Oliver, you know, wanted the major portion of the budget for himself, you know.
Give me 15 seconds.
Everybody else, you know, can work for scale while Oliver, you know, runs the budget up for himself.
Yeah, well, you're in the business long enough to
Yeah.
learn to do that.
Yeah.
I was very good. I actually own a lot of my own equipment.
Oh.
Yeah, I bought the camera, a lot of the stuff.
You use always the same cinematographer then?
Well, in one form or another. I fired him halfway through, no, about three-quarters of the way through the picture. It was a mistake. Well, I never fired him. The producers were getting antsy, you know, because I would missed a few shots. It wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
But I learned before that when the producer wants to hire someone else, go with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because then you have to reshoot a lot of other stuff that I wanted to reshoot. So I said, sure. And I tried to explain it to my cameraman that we're partners in the equipment. And he was hurt. But he was also our transportation guy too.
Oh.
So when you fired the cameraman, we lost your transportation
Oh.
guy. So,
Daryl, did that do it?
I'm going to do it until you guys say.
Okay, yeah. Let
That's
that
it,
go.
okay.
Yeah. Okay, then you go.
All right. 3, 2.
Is it easier or harder making a movie with all the family?
Hold up. Let me put
Okay.
this Bobbie Wygant. 3, 2.
Is it easier or harder making a movie with all the family? How many family members are in your movie? Where is home now? Out there in the high rent district. Let's see.
Hippie?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to remember how I phrased that. You have to be, let's see. When you go in to talk to the bankers now, your producer, director, and all that, you have to be somewhat establishment, don't you?
Hold on. Wait a second. Okay.
What is it like now as the producer when you have to go in and talk with these three-piece suited? What is it like now when you have to go in and talk with these three-piece suited bankers and all that? Would you be offended if people today perceived you as being straight and establishment? Where is your head at today? Let's see. That about covers it, doesn't it? Talking to
banker, straight.
And the part of what the movie's about, I can cover that in narration.
Okay.
Why don't I just do some reactions then?
Okay, we're rolling.
Okay, that should do it.